Hey, Joel.
Yeah?
Hey, I've got a really good idea.
I'm ready for it.
What if we made a podcast? Welcome to Joel and Uriah's Terrible Ideas. I am Uriah.
And I am Joel,
and
not the intro guy.
No. And if you haven't noticed yet, Joel's audio is better than it has been lately.
Don't know what was wrong, but we've got it fixed.
Look, I'm gonna level with you right now. We use Audacity, which is free.
Yeah, we do.
And it's a very.
You want to know why? Because it's free.
Also learned that Griffin McElroy uses Audacity as well.
Well, because it's a great program too.
It is a great program. So anyway, so it's not just because it's free. We use it because it's good and because it's free. But the moral of the story is that it's quirky sometimes.
Yeah,
I think those quirks have finally been dealt with in an official okay way.
Don't you say that. You're gonna jinx us. Next week we're gonna have so many issues.
So Joel, what is this? What are we doing here?
So every week we get together, Uriah and I, and we decide to pitch each other ideas as if we actually know what we're doing and saying.
Yeah.
And with the hope and the goal is that something is interesting and funny enough that you, listener, might enjoy it, and that we might enjoy the process, and that once we're done recording, we forget it ever happened and just move on with our lives.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like Shark Tank, except there's no actual money, and there's way more laughing.
Yes, it's a lot less serious than Shark Tank. It really is a lot like Shark Tank, isn't it? There's just nobody we're pitching the ideas to besides the listeners.
Exactly. So,
wow.
So yeah,
I feel so important now. So,
yes, because Shark Tank is so important.
I'm on Shark Tank.
We're on like the Great Value brand Shark Tank.
Yeah, we are. If Shark Tank was Whole Foods, Joel and Uriah's Terrible Ideas is Aldi.
Hey, don't knock Aldi too hard, man.
I love Aldi. I go there every week.
Yeah, I got through college on Aldi, man. Like that.
I still get through life on Aldi.
It is your week to deliver an idea to us. So, Joel.
Yes.
What is it?
Yes, it is. All right, Uriah. You and I both love games.
A ton. Mm-hmm.
Right. And, I mean, eventually one of these days we're actually going to finish that board game I was talking to you about.
Yeah, no, I look forward to it.
You can, and that we'll reveal it on the podcast when it's, like, ready. I just actually need to pull the box out of a closet and do something.
Right.
It is at this point playable, and I have played it with some friends.
Really?
At least once. Oh, yeah, it's playable. I just need to... Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We still like games.
Right.
Uriah, you and I are going to develop an escape room. But not just any escape room.
Oh?
It's got to have... Okay, just like any escape room company, it's got to have at least 3 rooms.
Sure.
And they're going to be based on movies. With the caveat they can't be blockbusters.
Oh, so it has to be like B movies or...
B movies, C movies.
Okay.
The really bad movies. That's what we're going to do today.
Okay. I think that for copyright reasons, not for our show necessarily, because I think we can get away with it here, but like for when this idea really goes to market, it needs to be genericized. Right? Like we 100%. We can't do the Star Wars escape room, but we could do Space Battles escape room.
Right, exactly. Or if we were doing a Cars escape room, I don't know, could you still call it Cars?
You'd probably have to you couldn't do...
That's a generic enough
word. Cars is pretty generic, but I think you'd probably you might run afoul if you get too... No, Cars is fine. I'm going to stop this. Yes, Cars is fine. We could do Cars.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Although it would be funnier if we didn't. Like if we did...
Automobiles.
Exactly. with Thunder O'Cloud.
Kachiga. But we're not going to be doing Star Wars. We're not going to be doing Cars. Those were some A-rated movies, big blockbuster. Sure.
You know, right.
Although it would be fun to do like a kids movie, or like everybody movie,
sure,
and then a niche movie if we're doing 3.
So before we get too in the weeds here, I want to direct us a little bit, because we could very easily sit here and come up with every puzzle for every room of every kind of escape. You know, like right, because like each escape room is usually like 3 to 4 room, and I don't think we need to come up with 20 puzzles tonight.
Right.
But I think if we come up with
no, that's a lot.
Most of the puzzles for one room, and then the great idea for what the other 2 are going to be.
What the other 2,
right.
We don't have to flesh every single thing out, but we do need to come up with some of the key things that are going to happen.
Whenever I think of B movies, I definitely think of like horror flicks, right? Because like that's what a lot of them were. They were the original B movies were just low budget horror movies that played at the drive-in.
See, funny enough, it's the movie side that I'm going to have to lean on your expertise a little bit, because
sure.
Like, I'm not much of a movie person all the time. I think it'd be hilarious. When I was saying non-blockbuster movies, the only thing I had going through my head is that one little tiny clip from that sea-level Hercules film where the guy just looks around, disappointed! Yes, that's all I've got. I don't know anything else about that movie. I don't know that I could ever create an escape room based on that movie. But I think it'd be hilarious to create an escape room based on that movie.
The whole concept of that movie. I should be clear. I have not seen the film. But the entire
clip.
The premise of the film is that Hercules, like the demigod character from Greek mythology, is transported to the modern world, and I kind of love that as an idea, right? Like the myth of, like, the story of the room is that you are every person who goes into the room is a Greek a character from Greek mythology, and you all have maybe you all have a tool or a way to get a hint that is specific to what your character is, right?
Okay. So that's a whole thing that doesn't even have to be based on a movie. It would just be fun to create a Greek mythology themed escape room.
That would be really cool. Dude.
That would be real. I know.
Escaping.
Actually, I feel like
escaping Tartarus. Just like that's the thing, right? Like you made a bad deal with Hades, and now you got to get out of here.
See, I'm glad you went more serious, because I'm thinking like, oh, the Trojans didn't take the horse. Now you have to get out of the horse. You had a much better idea there.
No, I love yours.
Although, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking Odysseus on the way home, all of those different tasks and trials that he went through could totally play into some of it.
I mean, I'm sure you could. I know that there has been the Iliad, the Odyssey, any of those, basically any story about the Greek gods has probably been made into a B movie because they're public domain characters.
Right.
So they're like, that's the kind of thing that you could do.
Well, if you want to go toward B movie and in this genre, something a little bit more modern, and they didn't do so well as movies, but they're great as books. Percy Jackson.
Oh, yes. Ooh. Okay, Percy Jackson, and I'm trying to, what's the one? The first one's The Lightning Thief?
The Lightning Thief, yeah.
Okay, so it's Percival James and the Thunder Stealer.
The Light Bolt Absconder.
So
I've seen the movies. I've read the beginnings of the book, but I was reading them to my my son, who's 10 right now, and they were just a little old for him. He didn't want to finish the book. It got a little intense in certain parts, so we're saving that one for a little later again. So I don't have the book in my head, but I have seen the movie.
Okay, I think I've seen the first movie. I think I watched it on an airplane.
Okay.
So
that's a suitable place for watching. Okay, if you watched a movie on an airplane and it was free, that's probably a B-rated movie.
There it is. Okay.
That's our yep.
Yeah. So okay, and so they borrow pretty heavily from Greek mythology.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like that's the whole idea. So I think
he has to fight a Hydra at one point.
And they have to like convince a Cyclops to do something.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. I forgot about the Cyclops.
So I think okay, so those are you right. There's 3 tasks you need to complete to get out of here, right? To steal the lightning and leave. So you need to abscond with the thunder.
Abscond with the thunder.
So you have
thunder.
You have to talk down the Cyclops.
Okay.
You have to defeat defeating the Hydra is the last.
Okay.
What's the middle one?
The last thing he had to do was actually like get the lightning away from Hades.
Okay. All right. So
defeating the Hydra could be the second thing.
Okay, sure. And then
getting into the weeds here, convincing a Cyclops to do something as an escape room thing is the convincing part that's difficult. It has to be a little bit more tangible to know when you've done it, when you haven't.
So I think the story is you're trying to convince the Cyclops that you should have the shield or whatever they're trying to get there.
Okay.
So
was it a shield? I don't remember that part very well.
I just remember they went there to get something. Again, watch it on an airplane.
I think I was stepping in and out.
So I think maybe so to make this fit into an escape room, we could do something like so you're not convinced. So in the story, right, they're trying to like convince the Cyclops to give them the thing. But in this one, maybe you're breaking into the Cyclops house to get the shield or whatever.
Doing a quick little Googling here, the one you watched that has the Cyclops is actually the second movie, Sea of Monsters.
Okay, perfect. Of course I didn't see the first one. Again, watch it on an airplane. Anyway. I think this can work. I still think that like if we're doing, we can still, you don't have to. We're not telling the exact story of the thing as an escape room, right? I think we can sort of grab some of those elements and then go from there and play very loosely with them. So maybe like you're in the Cyclops cave trying to find the thing, and you have to, in order to like unlock the secret panel, you have to find there's 3 keys or whatever. Okay. And the keys are all different colored gemstones, and you only get those by solving minor riddles. Like,
are we saying the Cyclops is asleep and you're trying to find something to convince the Cyclops to do what you're asking?
Nope. Scratch convinced. We're not convincing the Cyclops of anything anymore.
All right.
We are trying to find. That was just because I remember the story wrong. We're just trying to get through the Cyclops themed room. And the way to do that is to find the 3 different colored gems. And the way to find the gems is you have to like solve a riddle, and there's hints on the walls and under the doormat or whatever.
Right, got it.
So yeah,
little key things everywhere.
Right.
Okay. Yep. Just like an escape room would be.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So every escape room has the ability to give hints. Right. A lot of times it's like they'll give you a walkie-talkie, or there's a loudspeaker in the room. I think the way that you get the hints in this one is you get the little owl, Athena's owl. Like the mechanical owl that sits on your shoulder, and like when you ask for help, like it's just a walkie-talkie, but it has to sit on your shoulder as a mechanical owl.
Okay, that'd be funny. Yeah, have to play along.
Got it. Exactly. It's all part of the fiction, right?
All right.
Okay, so we've solved the sleeping Cyclops problem.
All right.
So now we have to deal with the Hydra.
The Hydra. In the movie, the way the Hydra is dealt with is that they've already killed and beheaded a Medusa. Oh, and they use the head to finally turn it into stone, if I'm remembering correctly. Well, dear listener, if we're butchering the movies, don't add us.
Oh yeah,
we don't care.
Don't. It's whatever. You didn't come to this. You didn't come to this episode to talk about Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. You came to listen to us be dumb. So it's like
just listen to us not remember things well and do what we can with what we do remember. There was a Medusa, and I'm pretty sure they used that on the Hydra.
Yeah, and now that's a cool idea. I think maybe we use that. We sort of take that idea and use it on the fight with whoever our god is at the end. Okay. Because a Hydra presents a great opportunity for an escape room. In that, like, you are so you're trying to defeat the Hydra. Each head has a different weakness or something, and so like it's all about and so this one's a big matching game. And again, there are clues and hints and stuff throughout the room and throughout maybe there's a story, maybe there's something you have to read to like figure it out, and you match the right arrow or the right sword or the right axe to the right head, and that's how you defeat the Hydra.
Got it. We gotta just call it a 7-headed dragon, because the Hydra, you cut off one head, guess what happens?
It keeps doing the thing. Yeah, there's like...
Right. So I like that idea. So you've got to figure out which head and which puzzle solving finishes. Okay. Yeah, it is a matching game. So there's a whole...
Yeah, I think you have to poison one, you have to hit one with an arrow, you have to hit one with a sword, you have to hit one with an axe, you have to hit one with a slingshot. One's a magic spell, and one is a bad sandwich.
Ooh, that'd be hilarious.
Gives it a stomach ache. It gives it a stomach ache so bad it dies, which is like poison but different.
So obviously in the room there's got to be more than 7 things you could use to defeat each of the heads. That way, even on the last one, it's not like, ooh, it's obviously this one. It's the only one left.
Right.
There's a few different things. Yeah, you saying a bad sandwich just reminds me. Did you ever play the? There was a video game on the internet by Homestar Runner, and it was Trogdor. Yes, and then you had to put the baby in the well. You've obviously played this.
I have not played the game, actually.
Really?
Yes. So I didn't have the internet at my house when Homestar Runner was at its sort of peak of its wonder. I got a lot of those references secondhand.
Yeah, no, there was a whole part where you had to put a baby in a well and lower the bucket. And it was like, why would anyone ever do that? Because it's Homestar Runner and it's a video game. That's why.
Exactly.
It's like, why would you ever give a Hydra a bad sandwich? Because it's Joel and Uriah's Terrible Ideas podcast. That's why.
That's high praise, man. Putting us up on the same level as Homestar Runner.
There's about as much intelligence here as there was there.
Consummate peas. I said consummate peas. Now I'm just going to sit here all night. I'm just going to be...
Okay, so do you want to go to Hades as the ending? Because Percy Jackson does go into Hades, but he has to escape back out.
Right. What if so that we can make sure that we don't get sued by the author? What if we went a slightly different route?
Okay.
What if we had to steal the lightning from Zeus and we had to escape Olympus? And then that way...
So he becomes the lightning thief.
Yeah. And that's how you know that we didn't steal the source material.
Percival Jax is the lightning.
Yeah. No, he's the thunder absconder.
Well, yes. Okay, so go to Olympus and... Oh, man.
So how do you...
I feel like this would make a better video game, like trying to sneak and not get caught.
Yeah, it would.
As an escape room, how do you do that? The lightning is locked up and you have to find the key. But to find the key is hidden in like another lockbox or whatever. And so it's just a series of domino-style puzzles where... No, a domino style is in like you... finish one puzzle, it gives you the key to be able to start the next one.
Sure, yeah.
And you're just going through like a series of 4 or 5 puzzles to get to the key that unlocks the box with the lightning.
Yeah, no, I dig that. I think that's a good...
So that would be the mechanism of the game then.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That is good.
So it's just different things in the throne room. So it's themed like the throne room. Zeus isn't there. You're just trying to do it in the time limit because, Zeus is going to get back in the time limit.
So like the whole thing is staged in the throne room. Like, right, like you dress up the room like it's the throne room.
Right.
But then like when you're doing the tasks, you're like, you have to get one thing out of the kitchen. You have to get ambrosia from the kitchen, and you have to get a belt from the closet, and so I don't know, some other things. But like that's the kind of a sword from the armory that doesn't make sense because we're looking for the lightning. I don't know, but anyway.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
I think that like that's the thing, right? Like you have to go into the different houses, like some different rooms of Zeus's palace to do it.
Got it.
And then once you do,
I can see that.
Once you abscond with the thunder, Percival Jax absconds with the thunder, and you get to go take pictures with the signs with all their outdated cultural references because that seems
Yep.
If you fail though, the loudspeaker in the room there, it comes over, it's Zeus and he's cursing you to die.
Yeah,
because
yes, 100%. How dare you, boy! Get out of my throne room!
Oh gosh, that's good. That's good. I'm happy with that one. Anyways. Okay.
I like it. Yeah. Okay, so what other movies would there be? You started going down a horror, and we somehow ended with Greek mythology.
I approve. That was good.
So,
that was a good...
No. Sure, but I want to get you back on this track that you were on before I sidelined you.
I kind of actually like generic horror, right? Like, so you have instead of making it about like one, Freddy Krueger or Jason or Pinhead or whatever, you have like, like generic axe murderer, and
so it almost would need to be themed like a house.
Yeah,
and you're trying to get out of the house.
Yeah, but you'd have to try to make sure it's not Saw.
Right.
Because I just realized what we started to say is Saw.
I don't know. I don't watch, again, I don't watch a whole ton of movies, but I'm lighthearted movies. I don't go toward the horror stuff.
Your life is better for not having watched Saw. In high school, saw the first one and the second one on the same night. The first one was fine as a horror movie, and then the second one immediately made a cliche out of itself. So I was like, okay, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I've just not seen really any of them.
You're good.
Dear listener, so if I say something, you're like, you're just ripping off that movie. No, I'm not. I'm just like, I have no idea.
Right. Oh, it would kind of be like a, like, when you go to a haunted corn maze and they've got the trailers, like the storage containers off to the side, and you have to like go through them, and they just like, you're just kind of going through different scenes of like horror settings. I think that's what it is. I think that's what the escape room is.
Okay.
But there has to be like a looming threat, right? Like there has to be like a thing that's motivating you to get out. That's not just, maybe just generic axe murderer is not the right answer. Right. There has to be like some kind of like deep existential threat.
Okay.
What is it?
Or you think, I don't know. I vaguely remember watching part of one, I don't even know if it's classified as a horror, more thriller, but it was called The Mist.
Oh, M. Night Shyamalan, right?
I have no idea.
No, it wasn't. No, just kidding.
There's just this fog in this town, and anybody who gets enveloped by the fog never gets seen again.
Right, yeah.
I don't remember how it ends because I don't remember if I actually watched it. I think
I saw the trailers for that one.
So I don't know if that's existential threat as much as like something is looming and on its way.
I would argue that if a thing makes people disappear and cease to exist, then yes, that qualifies as an existential threat.
Well, sure, yeah. But I don't know that that's any different than a generic axe murderer. It's the exact same thing. If a generic axe murderer gets close enough, existential threat, you cease to exist, just in a more bloody fashion.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe to keep it like so that it's cool for your kids to come, right? Maybe we go with The Mist or something.
Yeah.
The Cloud. The Cloud.
There it is. The Cloud.
It's just somebody else's computer. What?
Like, you want to go slightly sci-fi, you could call it The Blob. And there's this blob.
Oh, yeah. It's gray goo. I think gray goo is a generic enough term. If you want to go the sci-fi route.
Right. I don't know that we necessarily want to in this one.
No, I think a cloud that's trying to kill you, that's like seeping into the like beneath the doors or whatever. Oh, and then you just use a fog machine to be like.
I almost said dry ice, but I feel like that would probably be more expensive in the long run than the fog machine. Yeah, but the dry ice just hovers on the ground.
Yeah. Por qué no los dos?
Sure.
I don't know if they work together.
I was about to say it only like fog just fills the whole space, whereas dry ice it's heavier than normal air, and so it just stays at the bottom. I guess it just depends on how much money we charge for admission.
I think either way it's an expense, right, to run the fog machine or to constantly be dry.
Yeah, either one.
Dry ice. So that's good. I like that. I like that.
All right.
The fog is the existential threat that's like creeping into the room. So each room you're trying to get closer. You're trying to get into a safe room.
Okay.
In a slight twist on the theme, instead of trying to escape the room, you start
trying to get into the room.
Right. You start like in the hotel lobby, and you're trying to go. You go from like the hotel lobby to the manager's office, and then you go from the manager's office to the panic room. You know, like you're trying,
right.
like that's
like it, yeah.
The goal is to get further away from the fog.
I did something like that with my youth group one year. It wasn't horror themed. But it was an escape room themed big, huge game. And they were trying to break into the youth building to get a trophy. To say that they won.
That's cool. So we have the Greek mythology. We have the lingering cloud of death. We need one
cloud.
More. Again, the cloud is just somebody else's computer.
Yep.
So we need another. We need another.
One
theme.
more B-rated non-blockbuster style movie. So we've got a horror. We've got a fantasy, fantasy realm. So we could go sci-fi. We could go action adventure. We could go kids movie.
I think
kids movie would be hard to do. It's escape room.
The other thing that I think of with B movies is the off-brand public domain story, right? Like fairy tale, like Robin Hood, but not Disney's Robin Hood. Like
right. Okay.
Like John and
there
Joe's.
There are multiple renditions.
Right. Or like.
Okay. A thought I had at the beginning of this, and I was trying to save it till now, and you just reminded me of it, was so the theme was more King Arthur, but the movie I thought of was The Search for the Holy Grail. Monty Python and The Search for the Holy Grail.
That movie is a masterpiece. It does not. It does not meet our criteria.
No. You are correct, sir.
I was driving back from Alabama once.
Okay.
And at a rest stop, I saw playing on the TV some bootleg Wizard of Oz with the wildest subtitles. Obviously, I could not hear what they were saying, but the subtitles were just garbled garbage. It was like it was impossible to read it because it was just nonsense. And
interesting.
So that experience has been seared into my brain for like a decade now. So,
do you want to do a Wizard of Oz themed escape room?
Oh man, a Wizard of Oz themed escape room has a lot of potential.
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's
so many different settings and there's so many different characters. Right. I mean, the whole thing is basically Dorothy on an escape room quest.
Yeah, it really is. She's just trying to get back home. And she had the key the whole time. Interesting.
Oh man, that's actually...
How would you do that? How would you create an escape room where you have to do all these different tasks only to find out you had the key from the beginning without making it too obvious?
You know, it would have to be the kind of thing that you could only get people who have never seen The Wizard of Oz or people who are...
Or you just take that entire idea and plant it in a completely different setting.
The Wizard of Oz, but in space. The escape room.
Okay. In space.
You have to go...
The wizard in space.
You have to go... Yes, okay. So you start out in a rocket. You like the story is you wake up from cryo sleep and you're coming into a planet, right?
Okay.
And on that planet, you need to find someone because they have a thing that you need to get to
make the rocket ship keep working so you can keep going.
But no, because like the end goal
is the rocket ship the Twister, or is the rocket ship her house in Kansas?
The rocket ship is the red slippers. So, all right. So you start out on a rocket ship. You have to pick up people along the way to get you back to Earth because the rocket ship is trying to get you. The rocket ship will take you back to Earth.
Okay.
Or at least back on your trajectory. You're coming in from an interstellar mission. So you have, this is the far future. You've been sent into deep space. You've found another civilization on another planet. You need to come back to Earth with what you found, right? And along the way, a nebula of some sort interferes with the ship's navigation, and now you are lost in Sector 0Z1. I
was thinking the exact same thing. In Sector, if you didn't say 0Z, I was going to. Yep. Okay, so the nebula, so the spaceship is...
The spaceship are the red slippers.
But it's also the house in Kansas.
No, the nebula. Oh, the nebula is a tornado. Yeah, they're both.
The nebula is a tornado.
Yeah, the spaceship is the house in Kansas.
Well, remember the red slippers she didn't find until she was in Oz.
Okay, so the red slippers is the steering wheel for the spaceship. I don't know.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
We're already way overthinking this. That's the show, folks.
Yeah, it is. Rocket ship is her way back to
the rocket ship is the way
Kansas.
back. Yeah.
Nebula is the twister.
Along the way, she has to uncover. She has to go to different planets to find the different things she needs to get her ship back. Like the thruster is broken. No, the long range communications is busted. The navigation is busted, and the life support is busted. And you have to get the parts you have to get like materials from 3 different planets for each of those things.
So there's like, just thinking logistically then, there's one room and attached to it are like 4 separate rooms.
Right. And those are the places that you go. Those are the planets
the main
that you
room,
go to explore.
Right. So the main room is the rocket ship, and then you just go into one room, and that's your planet room.
Right.
And you come back into the rocket ship afterwards and pretend you fly to the next planet, and you go to the next planet.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Toto's a little like robotic android
dog
thingy.
It also has to sit on your shoulder because it's the walkie-talkie.
Yes. Looks like an owl. All right, yeah, okay.
Honestly, I would go to any of these escape rooms. These all sound
escape
fun.
Rooms.
I
love escape rooms.
I'm torn on them. They're kind of fun, but
as much as I love games and game design, I have found that I get into escape room and I definitely overthink some of the puzzles sometimes.
Yep.
And that's when like I'm like, oh, this and this and this, and okay, there was one where you just had to, so a whole bunch of Hot Wheels cars.
Okay.
And you had to put the Hot Wheels cars in the correct parking spaces based on clues. And then whichever parking spaces were left, those were the numbers you needed to unlock something else in the room. And so all these Hot Wheel cars are sitting there and you've got a list and each number has a clue and you had to figure out which cars went with which clues.
Right.
And when you ran out of cars, whatever ones were left were just fake clues. There's the numbers. I have one car left and I can't figure out where it goes. And it's a postal service truck. And I keep thinking of postman. And I can't figure out where it goes. One of the clues was not female. It's a mail truck. And I looked at this thing for probably 10 minutes before the lady finally just walked over and gave me the clue. She goes, "What's this? Postal truck?" She goes, "What's another word for it?" "A mail truck." Oh, dadgummit. No, come on. And then I fixed it.
There it is. Well, good work. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've done a handful of escape rooms, and they're mostly enjoyable. Not always my favorite thing. But this was a lot of fun. I would go to if they were themed around bad movies. I would probably be more excited about them.
I think it'd be hilarious. Yeah. So that's why I brought the idea.
Oh, good.
If there's a movie or even like a generic movie genre that you think we missed or should have put in with an escape room, or even you don't have to go with our non-blockbuster. If there's a blockbuster movie that you think would be an awesome escape room, let us know. Yeah. I'd love to hear it.
Let's be real. We did a bad job of sticking to the movie theme, and we just sort of did our thing. It was just like,
that's absolutely fine. This is what we do.
So we give you the same permission, dear listener, to give us whatever you want. Because I think there's a lot of great options for escape rooms that just haven't been made yet.
Absolutely.
And this is how you join. This is how you do R&D for Joel and Uriah's escape room empire. It's just
we're getting started one room at a time.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I think that's a show, man. So we'll tell you all about our socials and how to subscribe and whatever in the credits. But until then, I am Uriah.
And I'm Joel.
And we will see you whenever the next time is.
Bye. Our intro and outro music is Kingdom by Phantom Sage. You can find them on SoundCloud and no copyright sound.
You can find us on Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts and maybe others. I don't know. Check back later.
Hey, if you've got a thought and you want to share it with
Follow
us, you
on
can
Twitter
email us at
Joel and Uriah, or like us on Facebook,
gmail.com.
Joel and Uriah. Any other dead social media platform, we're probably there too.
And thank you for listening to Joel and Uriah's Terrible Ideas.
We're the ones standing in the sky. We're taking upon our own allies. For all of the rules we abide by. For us to say our final.
Crocodile!